Oh yeah, the boat shit. Since you got the good guns, do you want to shoot while I drive? What the fuck, dog?
Yeah.
You got nipple piercings, dog.
Ah, yes. We're back with a classic Resident Evil, and one that jumped the shark in so many different categories. But not literally. Not yet. As of this writing, Resident Evil 9, or Resident Evil Requiem, has been announced for a February 2026 release. So for my next few reviews will be Resident Evil exclusive. Apologies in advance. I want to make sure I cover my bases before the next game in the series. Thankfully, 6 has been fully recorded, so don't worry, it's next. But back to the matter at hand. After the massive success that Resident Evil 4 spawned, there was a good bit of effort to recapture that lightning in a bottle chance that it made. Released in March of 2009, it arrived during the Great Brown era of gaming. Modern Warfare 2, Borderlands, Killzone 2, Infamous, Red Faction Guerrilla, you get the point. Resident Evil 5 was meant to be the follow-on success to Resident Evil 4, with the return of Chris Redfield as the main character. Originally intended to be a solo character game based on earlier marketing, news outlets allotted some controversy given the setting of Africa. With that, Capcom included the character of Sheva, who seemed almost like a byproduct of the game, at least with how telling her AI is. So, let's break down the premise. You play as Chris Redfield, one of the founding members of the Bioterrorism Security Assessment Alliance, or BSAA for short, a UN-backed task force whose sole purpose is to handle the outbreaks of bioorganic weapons, or BOWs. Chris arrives along with the main Alpha team to a town in Africa called Kijuju, where another outbreak is taking place, tracking down an arms dealer by the name of Irving. Chris, by this point, is pretty jaded with his work, which doesn't help after the death of his partner, Jill Valentine. Linking up with an African Division BSAA officer, Sheva, the two head into Kijuju to find their quarry. As mentioned before, this game released in 2009, and while graphically better than 4 with the game utilizing the MT framework engine, it is beginning to show its age with each passing year. And with the brown era of gaming, there is a lack of color within the game itself. Most, if not all, areas are dull colors with little vibrancy to them, though this was mostly a vision of the time that has since vanished. Gun models are fairly realistic, and is one of the last Resident Evils to actually use the proper nomenclature for weapons: Beretta M9, AK-74, Ithaca, PSG-1, and so on. Animations for them are passable, but it's one of those don't look too closely at the monster kinds. Character models also look fairly decent even today, but there is a lack of monster variety within Resident Evil 5 that kinda carried over from 4 as well. A lot of human-style monsters with parasite plaga that burst out. Some flying variants, dogs, and a returning monster later in the game that I do think looks better than prior iterations. However, with them mostly being cannon fodder, the bosses and variety does help, providing a decent enough challenge. Environments will vary, but mostly are based on what I assume is East Africa. Dry, brown, small towns, swamps, an oil field, even ancient African ruins as well. With what they had, they were able to provide a good amount of environments into the game. Normally, I would reference the soundtrack here and my usual appraisal, but even after playing the game, I'll be honest, it is mostly forgettable. Made by Koto Suzuki, who has been a staple even from Devil May Cry 4 and onwards, whose most recent work was Resident Evil 4 Remake. Wataru Hokayama, on the other hand, while he does have quite a bit of work with films and TV, his video game list seems to be smaller projects and a handful of big ones handling a lot of the composition. Now, it's not to say that there aren't some memorable tracks in here. Some of the combat tracks and even the slower ones fit the vibe of Resident Evil, though none really have that iconic like Serenity from Resident Evil 4 or the Save Room track from RE1 Remake. The sound effects themselves are pretty good here, especially the gunplay. Pistols have a good amount of oomph to them. Shotguns and rifles feel as powerful as they look. Machine guns still feel a bit weak, but do the job well. However, the revolvers...
Ow, I got hit in the back.
Of course, we need to discuss the design philosophy behind what Resident Evil is. In essence, it's a puzzle game. You find key items to unlock new areas, solve puzzles, and fight enemies, but that last one isn't the main focus. It's meant to be a slow burn, discovering documents, learning the story, and with any luck, escape with your life while managing your limited resources and inventory.
Oh hey, I got an achievement, drive-by. Up on your ass, come on. Keep him distracted. I'm gonna use the power of God. And anime on my side. I wasn't kidding.
Yeah, this isn't a puzzle game. Quite the opposite, in fact. It expands more on what Resident Evil 4 was, while also limiting it as well. You still have tank controls that move your character around while still retaining the laser aiming sight for precision shots on BOWs. You can still perform follow-up melee attacks after stunning them, still use a knife to break boxes or do damage. Even fighting enemies and killing them gets you money and ammo for the current weapons you have, which will adjust accordingly. However, the inventory system has drastically been reduced to a mere 9 spaces overall. Each space holds a weapon, ammo, healing item, or armor to reduce damage. The last one permanently reduces total carry capacity overall. This is complicated even more when you have to play alone and have to manage your own AI's inventory and ammo as well. I'd rather choose a lobotomized lobster than this. So if you're gonna suffer, suffer with a friend.
Hold on. You got biker boys. You got biker boys. Oh, hello there, sir. Yes, I would like to know about my car's extended warranty. Tell me more.
During gameplay, you'll be gathering treasures and between each chapter, selling them to upgrade your weapons and buy supplies as needed. No iconic merchant here, just a simple screen. QuickTime events do return as well, both in gameplay and cutscenes. They aren't that intrusive, much like its predecessor, but the sequel, we'll get there soon, I promise. Hidden among the levels as well are BSAA emblems that you can find and shoot with a total of 30 of them, unlocking alternate costumes for the main 2 characters. There is also a mercenaries mode and even a versus mode that is still active to this day to help you grind points. These points can be used to buy versus characters, figurines, filters, and even infinite weapons as well, all of which have to be upgraded to their full potential before you can buy them, and you have to beat the game beforehand. I mean, the initial story premise was covered earlier, so if you're curious about it and don't want spoilers, go to here. This quick trip into town, however, devolves when Alpha Team is massacred, finding the creature in the basement soon afterwards.
Alright, Chris. As the scene directs, I need you to unlock the door with the key that we gave you. Okay. I told
What
you.
the?
What the hell is that?
It's a boss battle.
After disposing of it and going after Irving, the backup team Delta is sent to assist you, Josh Stone being one of the members who happens to know Sheva. Chris finds out Jill is alive after her supposed death, which spurs him even deeper into the mission. The 2 track Irving out to a mining complex, which he manages to escape with the help of a mysterious figure.
How do you react when somebody throws a grenade?
You jump on top of it.
He just falls to the
Just
floor.
flops over sideways. Yeah.
It looked like he was trying to take cover.
Bird
What
lady!
is this raven
Oh my
do?
god, it's Bayonetta with a bird mask.
On their way back, Delta is killed off by an El Gigante from 4, leaving the total BSAA survivors down to 3. Undeterred by vengeance or whatever, Chris and Sheva head deeper into enemy territory to uncover the fate of Jill while also finishing off Irving as well. With help from Josh, they manage to track down and kill Irving. Learning this conspiracy goes even deeper. One African city later, the duo discover the original progenitor flower that the T-virus originates from, and that Tricell and Umbrella were in cahoots. Tricell being one of the original funders of the BSAA, and that one of their top executives, Excella Gioni, happens to be working against BSAA interests with who else but Wesker. To which he reveals that no, Jill did not die, but was the bird mask person the whole time. After fighting off Wesker, it's revealed that Jill is under a mind control solution.
Come on! God damn it! Oh,
You're actually struggling, man.
I am!
And after button mashing the devil out of her, Chris and Sheva head to the ship where Wesker is using to try to spread the new supervirus around the globe. Excella gets infected, dies. Wesker gets beaten twice. And we're ending this madness in a volcano tonight. And yes, this is where the boulder punching scene happens, though an RPG can easily make quick work of this bullshit, and with it, Wesker is...
Did you?
I'm sorry, 1 second.
Oh, well, everybody's dead in the helicopter now. Now he's
I
dead.
know that works.
There we go. And Wesker is finally dead, and his name won't ever show up again.
Foreshadowing is a narrative device in which suggestions or warnings about events to come are dropped or planted.
To finish off, there are 2 DLCs that were released that come with the gold edition of the game, which is standard now. Lost in Nightmares and Desperate Escape. Lost in Nightmares is a prequel story featuring Jill and Chris that lets you play out Chris's flashback to Sheva during their time in discovering Wesker was alive once more, and Jill's supposed sacrifice. Desperate Escape is a more action-oriented DLC with Jill and Josh, explaining how Jill managed to find herself in the helicopter at the end of the game to help out Chris. Both DLCs combine both features of horror and action with a good few hours of gameplay between the two. The story itself isn't too much to write home about, but it is pretty simple and straight to the point, which I can appreciate because the next game after this decides to up the ante in so many unnecessary ways. While not the greatest Resident Evil, it is still surprisingly fun all these years later, and for $20 that typically goes on sale fairly often, you can get a lot of dumb fun and entertainment that continues the ever-expanding story of the Resident Evil saga. I would recommend this game, but as before, try and get it on sale if you can. Thank you so much for watching, and apologies about the delay in content. A few more reviews to come, but life has been keeping me busy. Till then, have a good one, lads.
Got time, shut up. Oh shit!
Oh, fuck.
I just saw it too.